Here we go. Hi, everybody. Hi, Nicole. Nice to see you finally. This is season two, episode four, Between Two Viewers. Nicole Dacey. Nicole makes awesome stuff. I love your stuff, by the way. And you've been at it for a little while, right?
I've been at it for is off now that I have a kid, so like the last 3 years are a blur, but I've been doing pottery since like 2009,
Very cool.
maybe? Yeah.
Very cool.
Pre Instagram even. Well, maybe not pre like the app. I don't know when the app came out.
Yeah. You have one kid now or two?
I have one. Yeah.
Boy, girl.
She is a girl. She is 2. She just turned 2.
Super fun.
That fun, really little age.
It is. I tell my daughter all the time, I'm always like, honey, I just want to pick you up and hold you like this again. I want to like.
You have older kids, right? Yours are like teens.
Yeah. Well, my wife has 2 kids, and then I have my daughter. My daughter's about to be 16, and we have a 14-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's why I love studio time. I gotta go finish the thing.
Yeah, suddenly you can think, your brain
Yeah,
feels open.
I gotta go cover that.
No, I gotta cover that for 2 hours.
Yeah. What happened? I started working on something. But anyway, yeah, no, it's lots of fun. And, I remember when my cousin was born, and she's like 28, and I asked my uncle when my daughter was little, I said, it's really cool to watch her learn things, And he goes, it just gets cooler and cooler.
Yeah.
They just learn cooler stuff.
Every day I'm like, oh my God, she knows how to do something now. And it's not always a good thing, but, it's always interesting for sure.
Yeah.
She just recently figured out that she can drag things to get up higher. So she was in the bathroom and I get ready in the mirror and she decided she's going to drag the potty over, which the potty is just at this point a toy, but
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I'm going to drag it over, I stand on it, and now I can see up high. And then I catch her carrying the potty into the living room and like all over the place. She's like, this is the thing I can climb.
Rearranging the furniture, that's hilarious.
It's very fun.
It happens very quick, with kids. Like, all of a sudden, you're like, oh my God. Like, 3 seconds, they can get into something crazy.
They're so fast. It's insane. This is like the greatest challenge I think of anyone's life.
Absolutely. It gives me totally new respect for my parents,
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because now you're like, now I know why you had a beer every day you got home. I get it. This is not easy.
Yeah. Like, I understand my own mother so much more now, and I just want to be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's too funny.
Sorry.
You just gave me this really crazy flashback. I don't know if you've seen in the shows. I've been sober almost 25 years now.
Congrats.
Thank you. It was fun. I mean, the 90s and the 80s was lots of fun, and I was a dumb kid. Neither here nor there. But I remember what you just said. It was crazy. I was talking to my mom back a couple of years sober, 20 years ago. And I looked at her in her kitchen and I said, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for putting you through that, And I expected her to be like, oh, it's okay. You'll always be my baby, And she looked me right in the eye and she said, how do you think I felt watching you do that to yourself as my kid? I was like, ah!
It's like watching your children.
You know what I mean? Ugh.
On like a less serious, note,
Yeah.
I got, tattoos here and there throughout my life, and when I got my first tattoo, I was like 18. And my mother, she's very devoutly Catholic, and you do not tattoo your body when you're a Catholic because, it's just not, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
And I remember I showed her, and she looked at me so seriously, and she said, you are not going to get into the kingdom of heaven now. And, as an 18-year-old, I was like, whoop-de-doo. But now, just yesterday, I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before, my daughter Louisa, I was looking at her, she was running around without any pants on, and I was looking at her leg, which is where I have a tattoo as well. And I was like, she's so perfect. If she gets a tattoo, I'm gonna cry. And I understood my mother again. I was like, yes. Oh, she was right.
Do that to your body.
My poor mother. Anyway.
Did you play sports in like high school or college or?
God, no. I grew up in a family that didn't really put a lot of value on sports, exercise, and movement.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a whole other story.
Yeah.
The family dynamic of what I grew up with. So my brothers and I have an older and a younger brother, and we're just not very athletic types. I did eventually learn I need to move my body to be healthy, but I'm still not very into like sports.
Well, I was saying, it gets cooler when kids learn things. And I was at my daughter's volleyball game the other night, and you kind of wait for them to find their own competitiveness. Like, I remember when we were watching the kids play soccer when they were really young, and they would run to the ball, but then not want to run into each other and then stop. You're like, no, go get the ball,
Keep going.
Yes, attack.
I mean, I guess it's a good instinct to stop before you slam into something.
Yes, it kind of makes sense, but
Yeah.
I was at my daughter's game, and like she was playing, she's on the back line of volleyball, and the girl went to serve, and I just saw her just this moment of just focus. Like she was like, all right. I was like, oh, she's playing. Like, she finally wants to win.
Well,
rather than just play.
I don't think my daughter's going to be an athlete either. She is very much like her mother, whether that's good or bad. But she's pretty clumsy and kind of not very coordinated, and but she's all up in here. She's so bright, so smart. Her like language is very advanced, so I think she's going to be more of the intellectual type.
That's very cool. Yeah. Well, my kids have like 88 averages. I don't understand. I'm like, is school getting easier, or was I just not paying attention? It's probably.
I wonder about that too sometimes.
So where are you right now? Where are you coming at us from?
So I am in Los Angeles, LA County, California. It is not where I am originally from. My husband and I have been living here 8 years, I think. 2017, we moved out here from Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. What part of Mass?
Like Central Mass, Worcester County. Worcester, yeah. Big, like...
Worcester, if you can't read the sign.
What
made you move out to LA?
So my husband's job, so he works for some animated shows. He works on music for Bob's Burgers.
Oh, very cool.
He also does, he was on the show The Great North, but that just ended. So now he's pivoting and trying to find a little more work.
Very cool.
It's not the most solid job working in the entertainment industry. But yeah, but his brother is out here. His brother is the music editor for the show, so he kind of got him to take the plunge and move out here. And
How do you like LA? How is the traffic?
It's not for me.
Yeah, right.
It's, we grew up Central Massachusetts. It's like very rural. Worcester is obviously a city, but we were Spencer, which is
Mass?
What?
Spencer, Mass.
Yeah, Spencer, Massachusetts. So like it's pretty small. It's like the last town before you get like deep into farms. So we're used to living in sort of a rural landscape. And when we moved out here, the first place we came to, we lived in Glendale, which is right next to the main city parts of LA. And it just it took a lot of adjusting to get sort of used to it, and just as we were starting to get settled, that's when the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And we were living in an apartment building. It was second floor apartment building. We didn't even have a little sliding door onto a little porch or anything like that. And so we just, I think, realized we really missed the green space of home and where we grew up and everything.
Sure.
So we, the next January, we moved. So we moved to a different area of LA that has a little bit more of a rural...
We'll edit that part out. She's from Ohio. I grew up
into the farmlands of Ohio.
Grew up in Long Island. Long Island was great as a kid. In my 20s, it was really cool to go to New York City all the time. Now I just have no desire. If I go downtown and I see 5 cars, I'm like, oh, come on.
We're kind of similar. It's not easy, I think. If you love a city, perfect, but you have to love it, and we just didn't really love it. So we are in a position now where we're thinking about moving back, mostly because all of our family, we grew up in the same town, we went to high school together. And so our families live less than 10 minutes apart from each other, and we just want Louisa to have more of her family around too.
Yeah. Not a yard to play in and a swing set. But what's great is people can work from home so much more now.
Yes, that is really nice. It's one of the only good things that came out of the pandemic.
Yeah. I remember during the pandemic, I saw this thing on about Indeed, the hiring website, and it was 7 years ago, there was 2 out of 50 jobs had a work from home option. And now like 47 out of 50 have work from home options.
That's a huge leap.
Everyone's like, I'm not doing it. I can do just as good from home. And the whole 410 thing, that's not a bad idea either.
And unless you're like someone who can't focus or is horribly distracted by working at home, like,
yep.
I'm sure you'd be even more productive because you're more comfortable. Yeah. You can take really quick breaks in your home. You can, You don't have
They've done some studies. And you end up working longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember like when cell phones first came out, when like the iPhones came out with the screen? Employers love those things because you're checking your email on the train on your way home from work. You're punched out at 5 o'clock, but you're still working technically. It's free labor.
I don't like that.
Anyway, this is way too much serious stuff. Let's talk about those brushes. Those things are so cool, by the way.
I'm really excited about them.
Yeah, is that a new thing?
It is very new, but it is something that I've been thinking about for like a couple years.
Yeah, I dig them.
I have like my own little collection of brushes that I've gathered over the years from usually someone who works in wood, but sometimes you just find more, like a vintage or antique room, something like that. And I'm really into that kind of stuff. And so I always thought it would be neat to make some, but I think when I first had this idea, I was already having other big brand new ideas, and I went in that direction. Mm-hmm. But now I'm at a point where my ideas kind of stopped when I had a baby.
Yeah.
And my brain kind of stopped.
She's using up your brain power.
Yeah, and then when I came back, after months, years, however long it was, all the stuff I was making before, I was like, I have no interest, no connection to them anymore. And so I just didn't want to do it. So I'm like, where do I start? And I'm like, make some brushes, man.
Yeah. Isn't that really fun how your work kind of just it's always doing something? Like you'll get this idea and you'll run with this idea and you got 6 months of making stuff that looks that way. And then you go, ooh, another idea, like squirrel, and then you're like,
yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to use this color for 6 months. And then you're like,
yeah, I can't understand people that can just like sort of make the same things over and over.
Yeah.
Like I understand the value of that as like a customer, you see someone.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah, you see someone making a mug and you're like, I want that mug. I get people that message me and find old photos and they're like, oh, are you going to be making more of these? And I'm like, nope.
Yeah, you don't understand. I'm on the wave right now. I'm on the bottom of the wave. I can't.
I say this to people wanting to buy my work, but I say, I've already made it. Why would I make it again? It's already made. So.
Okay, so call me crazy. It's kind of like people that collect DVD movies. Why would you buy the movie? You saw it. You're gonna. I think I got a collection of 300.
If you're interested in rewatching, I think a huge collection would be hard to rewatch. Obviously, you can't. There's not enough time in the day to rewatch all of those, but like you would rewatch your favorites. And
I guess. Call me crazy.
With the way that things are going with like Disney and things, it might be a good time to start the collection up again.
Start a new collection. Yeah. I actually, ever since COVID, I haven't really seen a really good movie.
Yeah.
I feel like everything I'm scrolling through on Netflix is like some sort of B-rated horror flick.
There's a lot of horrors in there. What kind of movies do you like?
I don't know. I fluctuate. I'm the worst. I'm the guy that scrolls for 45 minutes and then like, it's too late to watch a movie now.
Yeah. My husband and I are so opposite when it comes to like what we like with movies. Like he likes the really kind of, he likes artsy stuff and he likes things that make you think and weird, like David Lynch stuff, which I do love. Like I love David Lynch and Twin Peaks, but like my thing is I'm like, let's watch some like really stupid, dumb comedy. Or
yeah, my God.
For me, it's like the better.
My wife watches those, and she goes, "This is the stuff I watch after you go to sleep because I don't really have to pay attention to it."
Yeah, you can be like half on the phone, half watching the romance.
I watched 3 lines of it. I'm like, nah, I can't watch this.
Not for me, yeah.
Not for me. So show us some of these brushes.
Okay, let's see. I have some that don't have stuff in it. This is the one I'm working on now.
Is that solid like a tile?
So this is rock clay. I mean, it's been obviously finished, but it is just blue underglaze. I don't know if I can get close enough to see any of the detail.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so this one was one of the first ones I actually made, and it's interesting looking at it on the camera versus in my hand. Because in my hand, I see like the 4 square pattern, but when I look on the camera, I see this pattern more. That's weird. That's cool.
You know, sometimes when I'm making stuff on live, I'll purposely kind of look at it because it's totally different when you look from there.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, you know, when I was first starting to put things on Instagram, not to like digress, but I remember filming myself, and then when I watched it back, I could see what I was doing wrong. Like I was still learning, you know, how to throw and everything, and I would see, I was like my own teacher at that point, and I'm like, oh, I have to fix that, I have to change that, my hand's doing that wrong, and it's like, it's so interesting when you can see
It's
that.
really good to watch yourself. You know, I teach a lot of golf, and I use like a video app because I can tell people what I see till I'm blue in the face. If I go like this and go, look at right here, and they go, I see.
Yeah.
What I was saying for an hour.
Yeah. So this one was one of the first ones that I did, and I was trying to just find some fun quilting patterns, things like that. So I printed one, and I did, you know, a pencil, pressed the design in, and then carved and added the blue underglaze. And I had a lot of people telling me like, oh, it's going to turn black when you fire it. And I didn't want this one to turn black, so it has nothing on it. But I do have another one. It did not turn black. I don't know why people were telling me this. It's a very dark navy blue on this one.
Oh, yeah.
But I get to use my husband's drill. I get to use different fibers, so it's been fun. And then I do have a few that I did on the wheel. So I have some more, like, obviously 3-dimensional ones.
Yeah. Is that black clay?
This is black clay. There's nothing on there. So this is, I hope I'm not butchering it because I've never heard anyone say it, but it's like azabache or azabach or something.
Yeah. That's the 3rd time I've heard that in like a week. It's the universe trying to tell me something.
Is so beautiful. I think it's a cone 5. Mine are fired to cone 6.
I love it.
It's so smooth. Like, to me, it feels like throwing with a porcelain. There's like no grog, no nothing in it to make it rough. It feels to me like a porcelain as someone who doesn't throw with porcelain.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't act like a porcelain, though. Like, it's not going to be a challenge if you're kind of a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so smooth. It trims so beautifully. And the only downside I've kind of noticed is that it really takes on like my finger marks. So this doesn't have any glaze or anything over it.
Yeah.
If I'm holding it, it really leaves behind like my sweat marks, my finger marks.
I have the answer for you.
It goes away, but
Oh.
if you're gonna show me,
What?
if you're gonna show me this,
Is that liquid quartz?
yeah,
Yes! Dang!
I knew it right away.
That stuff's cheap, isn't it?
Yeah,
I have a
I had some
box right there that I'm not going to open until I'm ready because it's like a $240 bottle.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Do you have a plan for it?
Much a year's supply.
Oh my god, yeah, you have a lifetime supply.
But that works really good, doesn't it? That stuff.
It does. It does. The only thing, though, I'm trying to remember which one. I did spray it on, so I have this one here, and I'll move out of the way so it's not like where my shirt is. So I have this one here, and I think I sprayed it on this one, and I remember looking at it and saying it's slightly different now. I mean, you probably won't pick it up on the camera, but like the sheen of this one in person is slightly different.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that it's a bad thing, it's just noticeable.
I love those. They're really cool.
Thank you.
I really dig the black. I use a black Terra Sige. Kind of like this jar here I made a couple years ago, which is all dirty. It's black Terra Sige and then some green glaze. I love the black. It kind of looks graphite.
Yeah. No, I actually I'm working on the lighter ones right now because the black, so it's Tampico fiber, but the black leaves my fingers like it stains them. And this is nothing. This is just from touching it. Like I'm so new to brush making. Like I'm a beginner, so I am failing and playing and just figuring things out. I'm almost positive I have to wash this Tampico now because otherwise everyone that buys one or uses one, they're going to just get black fingers. And that is not a product I want.
Beware the black fingers.
Beware the black. Yeah. So then, I'm just going to work on this one so I don't have to keep washing my hands while we're talking.
Now, every time I throw, this red clay. It's Newman's Red and Red Art. And if I throw with it, my hands turn.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then in the studio, I'm always like moving the hair out of my head. And then before you know it, like the front of my hair is like yellow. Because it's gray.
You know what? It's a perfect self-tanner. There you go. It's a great self-tanner if you want to look like...
Yeah, like you know who.
You know who.
I might have to switch clay bodies. I've been getting my clay from Alfred for like 15 years. And I think they're got a little bit of a shortage because I think Newman's Red is hard to get right now. So he said, I got to keep clay for classes. Sorry, man. I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Those darn students. How dare they want to learn?
I said, teach them how to reclaim.
There you go.
Right? Today is reclaim class. I love reclaim.
It's so funny how much, isn't taught to students.
Oh my God. We just talked about this the other day.
The number of people who so I did some videos a couple years ago about how to deal with dust in your studio and just healthy best practices, and it's one of the first things I was taught. I had amazing teachers when I first started, and the number of people though who messaged me and was like, thank you, I didn't know this, I was never taught this, I'm blowing clay dust around my studio without layout. Yeah. And I have the same shocked face too. Yeah. I'm just surprised at how many people said, oh, we weren't taught this.
I was in a community studio that was run by a matriarch lady who had been there for 50 years. It was kind of her studio, but she was like, wet that before you touch it. It's got too much dust. She had been in there forever. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I should do more
life out of it.
What's that?
Well, if you're a student coming in and out of a pottery studio for a semester, that's one thing. But if you're the teacher or it's your career, you really have to be careful for your own lungs. And
I've heard that's not a nice way to die either, silicosis.
Yeah.
But anyway, I try to clean up around here, but pottery, man, that clay gets everywhere.
You know what? My first teacher was so militant about cleaning up, about best practices and everything like that. So when I started working from home, when I built out this studio and when I taught my own students, it's just his voice echoing my head the whole time, and I would clean after every session.
Yeah.
It was only recently that I started leaving messes behind, because I had to kind of decide, do I want to spend my time cleaning or making? Because I have a much more limited time now that I have to take care of my daughter during the week.
Yeah. I'm the one that leaves the clay in the wheel until it gets really thick and hard, and then I can just dump it outside.
That does make it easier, I guess. Yeah. Once it gets hard,
it's way easier to clean that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you go to school? My neighbor's coming over. Hi, neighbor. She's going to come in the studio. Oh, hi. I don't know what she's doing. She's probably looking for my wife. She'll see me in a minute.
Who is it?
Where'd you go to school?
Where did I go to school? So I didn't go to school for art or pottery or anything, and I went to many schools.
Uh-huh.
I graduated my undergrad from Framingham State University, which was at the time Framingham State College in Framingham, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
With a degree in art history.
Okay.
And
did you find clay while you were at school, or?
Kind of, yeah. So originally I went to school for creative writing, and I eventually pivoted to art history when I kind of learned that I love history, I love stories, and I love art, and it just kind of combined. And when I was in my almost final year at school, I took a pottery class because I needed to take 2 studio art classes for the degree. And I had taken a drawing class, and I was like, this is not for me at all. I can barely draw. I struggled for a B. So I'm not for me. But I'm like, I remember liking pottery from high school. Like, we did like a week of pottery. Actually, I don't even think it was high school. I think it was junior high school. It was like seventh, eighth grade.
Yeah.
And I remember liking it. So I'm like, well, I'll just do this. And I just fell in love. Fell in love, but not more in love than with art history. So it was just kind of hobby at the time. And I started working at a museum in Framingham called the Danforth Art Museum, which has recently been acquired by the university. But one of the perks of working there was that I got to take a free class every semester. So I was like, well, I'm going to take this pottery class. And so I just got free pottery classes for years.
What? How cool is that?
It was really nice. And it was, the teachers there were just like these world-class artists. They were amazing people, really wonderful. I got such a good education from them. And eventually, it wasn't until we moved out here that, I pivoted to pottery rather than art history.
So the small town thing we were just talking about that you said you missed, my neighbor walked up into my wife's garden and got some basil. She just went by, she's like,
That's so sweet. I think that is the best, neighbors, helping out neighbors.
and she had the dog. I was looking at the window, she had the dog, and she walked up and she said, you go back inside. And
Yeah,
put the dog
but
back
you know
inside.
what? The thing with basil, like, you got to give it out because it grows like crazy.
We have 2 peach trees in our yard. Oh my God. And it's comical how many peaches come off of the thing.
Yeah, sure.
We were telling our friends, please come over and take some,
Yeah, we have a lot of, obviously, California, we have a lot of citrus trees.
Yeah.
And near our mailboxes, like our little neighborhood has like dead ends. And so the mailboxes are all just like at the start of the road. And you always just find like a bucket full of lemons, a bucket full of grapefruit. Yeah, it's just like so
Somebody
many
says,
people
"Take
have a
these."
tree that just grows too many for them to handle.
That's hilarious.
It's nice.
So you got some free pottery classes and you fell in love with pots.
Yeah.
I love the way you go about stuff too. Your Instagram is done really well. Your packaging is done really well. Yeah, that's a lot of work. I don't think people understand that stuff. That's an extra step that I appreciate as another potter, by the way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of little things that I try to do to kind of make the whole experience good for.
Of purchasing?
Yeah, I guess talking about the Instagram and the purchasing, I guess.
Yeah.
Completely
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, I buy pottery from other potters sometimes. I buy from small shops, and every time I get like a little touch, I absolutely love it. And I mean, I've gotten a decent following on Instagram, but that doesn't necessarily translate to sales. So people that are like, oh, if I just get more followers, I'll get more people buying my pottery. Not necessarily.
No.
You gotta put the work in there.
Yeah.
So if I sell something, I try and handwrite my thank yous. I make all of my thank you cards with stamps that I have pre-made with my logos and everything like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All that stuff is awesome. It's like I said, it's an extra step.
It is, yeah. It takes a lot longer, but you get to a point where you kind of streamline it and you figure out the fastest way to do it. And then, like, I used to do other things that I've dropped from the packaging because it just started to become too much. It was gorgeous, of course, but it was too much. So
I almost bought one of those, the thing that it corrugates the cardboard for you. It's like a roll.
I'm so tempted.
Yeah, they're like $150. I don't know.
Like, take all those Amazon boxes.
You know what I do have that I learned from a friend of mine? For the golf course that I run, I have to order coffee all the time. So last time I ordered coffee, I said, hey, do you guys got the bags? And they're like, yeah, we got thousands of them. I said, I'll take as much as you got. So they brought me these 2 massive boxes of coffee bag, like the burlap. I have it on the bottom of my table.
But those are cool.
They're cool, right?
Those are really cool.
So I bought a mug from a friend, and he wrapped it in that.
And
I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
That is brilliant. I think like anytime you can find a creative way to reuse something in this world, that's fantastic.
It does make it heavier, though. I will say that.
Yeah. But that's not on you, right?
Well, no, not really, no.
Work it into the price.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'll write a little note, thanks for buying, and I'll slam it in the box that I recycled from somebody else and send it on its way because I'm just kind of busy, and
Yeah, yeah.
I really think, like you said, as much as I'm going to charge for some stuff, I should put a little more thought into packaging. I'm sorry to you all out there that have bought my stuff and I just sent it to
Not
you.
necessarily. Just, I mean, I think a handwritten note goes a long way.
Yep.
And if you're gonna wrap it, you could choose to do like a fun colored ribbon because you're gonna put a ribbon on it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could
I
still
might
make
just
it
get a
fun.
stamp. Like you said, you have a couple of stamps, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I might get a stamp from Mike Griffin Ceramics, so I like it.
I've wanted to get a big one so I can just like slap it on the box too.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
a fun
cool.
one. Yeah. I think I
See, we haven't looked at any of our questions.
whenever you need to stop me, I can talk forever.
No, me too. That's why I started this show. That's literally what I love to do.
Yeah.
I do it all day at work. You think I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to do it when I get home?
I was looking at your page just before when I was waiting around when I was texting you, and I said, I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, I can figure out what you like based on a very quick look through the page
Yeah.
in terms of like pottery and art and stuff and whatever.
Yep.
I was like, he likes color, he likes design, and he likes people.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
I like because that's what your page has. It's like lots of people, lots of color, and lots of design, and that's
Yeah. I put on my Instagram like the description, just my pots meet in the space between functionality and me having fun. It's got to be fun for me, or I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah. But when I was talking to Tony Young, I always come on. I like research everybody, and I'll take a page and a half of questions, And this one was from Autumn McKay. Have you seen her work, Autumn? She was just
Who is
on
it?
there. Autumn McKay.
No.
We'll look her up. Actually, you'll meet her. She'll be on next week. Is her episode. She makes cool stuff. But I was like, we may never touch on any of these questions and talk for an hour and a half, and we totally did. Yeah. So, do you teach at a community studio? You were telling me, or are you just out of your home?
So I was teaching until my daughter was born.
Yep.
I was teaching at a studio in Sherman Oaks here in California.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic studio. If I can back up a little bit, talking about myself. Before I moved out here, I had started a pottery studio called the Community Kiln in Framingham, and it was like taking the pottery studio from the Danforth Museum that I used to work at, and basically I bought it from them with the help of other people. And because they were moving their building, they were being purchased by the university, and they were like, we cannot take this pottery studio with us for a number of reasons. So I'm like, well, these are so many people in the community losing their studio, and teachers losing their jobs. So partially selfishly too, I was like, I'm a student myself. So we started this Community Kiln studio, and it was still running today, even though I only got to run it for a year. I still think of it as, it's my baby, my first baby.
Did you sell it when you had it and just got out of it, or?
No, I didn't sell it. We had to move, so I had been working with this, like, it's such a strange combination of how we got into that place, but it's a place called SMOC, SMOC. It's like the South Middlesex Opportunity Council, and that is like, it's like a social services kind of business organization,
Yeah.
And they were looking to get into the arts and find a way to get people from like their recovery organization, like people who maybe were in recovery from addiction or who were with their kids in like a shelter or whatever it is, trying to get them into the arts as like a form of healing.
Okay, great.
Which was fantastic. And I was like, hey, I got this pottery studio, and I think clay is a really great way for people to work through, art therapy essentially.
Absolutely.
And so they basically were like, if you can figure out the logistics, get the teachers, the classes, the stuff, we can be like the money and find you the location.
Wow, what a cool opportunity.
It was really wonderful, and it's still going on, and we had so many people come from these, from all walks of life. It was really great. And anyway, so when I left, it was basically like someone just took over my position, and it's still going on, just without me.
Well,
But
sounds like it was very cool.
It's really nice. So then when we came out here, I spent a little bit of time just kind of working on my own stuff and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And eventually I started getting into teaching at, it's the Pottery Studio here. And you can go online and find them. They've expanded to like so many locations across the country at this point. It's crazy. Like they started from this like really tiny little studio, and they're in San Francisco and Brooklyn.
Very cool.
Chicago, like all over the place. It's really nice, and it's such a great little setup.
Yeah,
but
I want to open a community studio
Absolutely.
so bad. I want to open a community studio really bad.
You should.
Yeah, I have enough room here in my home studio to like put a couple wheels in and teach some classes, but then it's like then there's people at my house all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I keep trying to find a space downtown, and everything right now is crazy. We looked at a building the other day, and they wanted $500,000 for it. And, I could rent out a couple spaces and make those spaces pay for their itself, But it's still terrifying. It's still a $500,000 loan.
That's a big commitment, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It'll all happen just the way it's supposed to.
I mean, it seems like you're passionate about pottery, so.
Yep. It's funny when, I run a golf course. I've been a golf pro for a while, and people always say, well, what do you do in the winter? Because I'm up in Rochester, New York, and I tell them I'm a potter. And they all go, what? And they all think, and then they look at my stuff, and they go, oh, no kidding. That's like, oh, that's actually good. Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad and my brother are golfers.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. My dad is a golfer. Like, growing up, it was like always on TV. He was always putting in our living room, going off and playing golf. And then he got out of it because he wanted to play music. So he's a musician also.
Very cool.
Self-taught from when he was like a teenager. And so he ended up getting in a band with a bunch of other guys his age. Mm-hmm. And it was a Tom Petty band.
Neat. Yep.
Yeah, it was very fun. And then just recently, I would say the last like 5 years or so, he's been getting back into golfing again, which is good because he's getting older, so he needs to move the body.
Yeah. It's tough. That's one thing I noticed as I'm 54 now, and it's like, what I noticed as I got a little bit older is that when you want to start something new, it requires you quitting something else because you just don't have that much time in your day to do all of this.
Absolutely. I mean, he's retired now, so he could do both, but he stopped the band because he's just like, he had a hard time lugging around all the equipment and, playing at a bar until like 2 a.m. and then having to drive home. He's 70, 71, 72, so.
That's why rock stars have roadies,
Exactly. He doesn't have a roadie, so he's going to go golf now.
Yeah, I'll play it.
Exactly.
Bosses text me. He's a pain in the butt. It's fun. So I was saying, I've been a golf pro for a long time, but if I could, what my goal is to really just move more into making clay and just being a potter, I'm 54. I don't want to work till I'm 80, I have a really nice old lady that works for me. She's 81. I just feel bad for her. I'm like, it sucks. You gotta come work here for $15 an hour at 80 years old. Ugh, I'd rather just not.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, unless you're the kind of person that wants to be working, like, I think the majority of people want to retire and enjoy their lives while they still can. Yeah.
So, trying to find a way to make as much money doing this as I do doing that. I can do that less. And, I got into golf because I really love people, and, like, I'm in front of people all day, every day, and people are ruining it for me.
How dare they?
Yeah, like, what's the matter with you? All right, let's see. So, let's see. We talked about you. So this is funny, on your one of your things was talking about the Griffin grip.
Oh, no!
Yeah. Which is, like, do you know who Tim C is?
I do. I know of him. I know who he is, but I don't actually really follow his work.
He hates those things.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say.
Yeah. I have one, and I don't use it for the purposes that it's supposed to be. For me, when I trim, when it's kind of wet, I would turn that thing, and it would dent the pot in. or I have a lot of rims that aren't even, and it was, I don't know, maybe it was just me, I couldn't figure it out, because some people use them very successfully, so.
Yeah. Do you
But
want
he
to
did a
know
video.
this is the hill I'll die on.
Sure.
Do I have like a story about it or something? Like a
Yeah,
highlight?
something like that, I don't know, I was
Griffin
scrolling through.
Gate?
Yeah.
So my first teacher, I've mentioned him already, his name is Howard Gerstein.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met about ceramics. And he's one of those people who, like, no one wanted to take his class because he's a little bit hard to get along with. But once you know how to, he's fantastic. And I absolutely adore him. And he made sure that all of his students knew how to do things like the right way before you go and like figure it out a different way or whatever. And the thing he always said was like, it's all about like the basic principles of things. You can do it many different ways as long as you understand that basic principle of how to do it the most basic way. So
Sure.
like,
Yep.
he would make sure we knew how to trim our pots. He would say, you've thrown the pot and now your rim is going to be on a different center than your base unless you're absolutely perfect at throwing, like if you're a machine.
Yeah.
Most likely, and that's why when we flip it, we center by the base rather than by the lip.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so the thing I've always had a hard time with Griffin grips is that it will center by the center of the pot or wherever you put the arms.
Yeah.
And if you're trimming the bottom of your pot, you can't put the arms there. So unless your pot is 100% perfectly thrown throughout,
Yeah.
you're centering it off center. So
Which not many people do.
Yeah, so whenever I trimmed my pots, and I got the Griffin grip, I was so excited and I was ready to have perfectly easily trimmed pots, but all of them looked horrible. My pot was here and my bottom was over here.
Yeah. Or like lopsided.
So,
but again, it's probably me.
I had to talk to my teacher about it, and he's like, "This is what's going on." And so now I'm like, it's the hill I'll die on. Like, you either have to be okay with a slightly wonky trim job, or you have to learn how to trim without,
Yeah. We're both gonna get flack for this.
He also taught us how to like put lugs on without destroying the pot, which is I think another thing that people want to use the Griffin grip because I think a lot of them said, well, I don't like using clay lugs because it will
push it in.
bend in. And I'm like, no, it won't. Not if you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, you push down more than in, right? That's what I always did. I pushed down because
you're
it pushes the clay in.
Yeah. So I use my Griffin grip mostly for sanding or adding wax.
Ooh, I'll show you what I did for sanding. I don't know. I made a video for sanding a couple of years ago. Where's my bat? I have a little bat in here in my messy pile. So on a bat, I'll just show you that. On a bat, I glued down a piece of Velcro in the middle, and then I bought these diamond pads from Amazon. They're Velcro, so you just go put it on there, and then I turn on the wheel, and I go, and then I put the next one on.
Okay, so you don't even have to swap out your bat or anything.
Yep, just rip it off, put another one on, and then I dip it actually in like throwing bucket. I just dip it, and then dip it, and before you know it, they're shiny. You go all the way up to 1600, and they're shiny bottoms.
Oh my gosh, nothing is better than a soft bottom.
I know.
Like you just want to like rub it on your face.
Yeah.
Just like right. Oh.
Somebody told me a long time ago, you don't want to sell somebody that and have them go on their coffee table.
I thought I was getting really soft bottoms, but I was only going up to like 400. And then when I started going up even higher to like 1500, I was like, I couldn't believe how much softer it could possibly be. It blew my mind. And the whole reason that I did it is I got a mug from someone and I was like, this is the softest mug like I've ever had.
Yeah.
Let me pull up.
I admire people that do it really, really, really well. I like to show the maker's marks in my work. I like to have fun while I play. It's just a difference in aesthetic, But some people that make these just beautiful vessels out of porcelain they blow my mind.
Yeah. Do you know Aaron Raymond? His page is called Redacted Ceramics.
No, but I will look that
You
up.
should look him up. He has the Patience of a Saint because he makes work that has sent me. Okay, here's one brush. Okay, he uses vinyl cut. He uses vinyl cuts like honeycomb pattern all over the mug, and he will painstakingly fill each of those dots with the glaze. The most beautiful. It's like tile pattern. His is the first page in a long time where I've seen pottery that's made me go, oh my gosh. Like, and this is sort of, not saying that there's not a ton of stuff out there that would make me say that, but I don't actually go searching out other potters that often because I find that if I'm looking for inspiration, I don't want to look at other potters. You know, I want to look at people who don't make pottery, maybe like woodworkers or like antiques or nature or whatever it is. But it stopped me on my tracks. I like bought one immediately, and when he had his next like drop. But he sent me one of his like a little square of the vinyl cutout to try. So I made a brush with his on there, and it didn't turn out that well on some of them. They kind of bled, but it's that same kind of concept of like
very cool
little dots. So cute. But the whole reason I'm bringing him up is that the bottom of his pots
super soft.
So soft. I was like, I rub it when I'm drinking out of it. It's become like one of my daily mugs.
That's funny. Yeah, I followed him. He makes crazy stuff. I often tell people on here about my buddy Matt up in Alaska. Matt Hiller, Hiller. They're just so beautiful. Like each one of them, I'm like, dude, that's. I go, come on. I go, now you're just being
He has a lot of texture on it, right?
Yeah, he does all the little sunflower carvings. Yeah. I told him last year, I said, your pottery borders on rude. Just stop already, but I feel like he's the kind of guy that's everything in his life is, he's probably got really nice tools and everything's put together, I'm a mess.
I feel like I'm a little more on his side of things. Like I love organization. I love everything to be in its rightful place. Like behind me, I don't even know. Yeah, you can kind of see. Back here is my husband's wood pile.
Yeah.
It gives me anxiety. Like, have you noticed that I'm sitting in front of it?
Yes.
Blocking it? And now I've given away my secret.
When he gets home, you got to be like, great, honey, you ruined the podcast.
You ruined it. Actually, he's inside with taking care of Louisa. We've kind of got this unofficial agreement that Monday through Friday, I watch her, he works, and then Saturday and Sunday, he watches her, I work.
Nice.
It's not the best in terms of, a little bit less family time, or if we have to do something, it always is a weekend thing, so I have to give it pottery time. But it's just a, chapter of life.
You got to find a happy middle in parenting, otherwise you'll just have resentments,
A really good stride right now.
Actually, one of my favorite sayings is, expectations are premeditated resentments. Right? Okay, where was I with questions? We're cranking here. We're at like 53 minutes already. Told you this would be fun. We got to talk more about your work, right? So yeah, NicoleDacey.com. You have a website?
I do, NicoleDaceyPottery.com.
And where do you sell mostly on there?
I do now. For a long time, I was doing Etsy, which was great when no one knew who I was.
Mm-hmm.
I think Etsy's great. I mean, it's getting a little oversaturated. I don't know how it is now, but no one knows who you are, and they look up blue mug and yours pops up and you make a sale. Fantastic, But I got to a point where I wanted to have a little bit more control over what I was putting out there in terms of my brand and everything. And it's been working out really well selling it on my own website right now.
Sweet. What about Instagram? You have a big following on Instagram. You're over 60,000 right now.
Yeah. I think it's 65 right now. I was doing really well. I was almost up to 70. I was so excited. And then I went away for a really long time. And when I came back, but here's the thing. I lost more followers when I came back than when you're gone for a while, and Instagram likes to push you to the front, like, hey, this person's back, remember them? And then people are like, oh yeah,
boring.
I have my work is really pivoting right now, so I can understand how people who were interested in my work a few years ago, it's very different now, and I'm in this sort of exploratory place right now, so
you're on the wave. Yep.
I'm riding the wave.
I find it interesting too that you said followers doesn't always equate to sales, which is pretty interesting, right? I mean, I think when I was first going live, and all of a sudden people just started following me. I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I need more of these," you know. And I kept telling my daughter, "I'm at 4,000 now," you know.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
Yeah,
I'd rather the show went bigger, you know.
you end up like, I would say if you're under like probably under 2,000 followers, that's what you keep thinking. That's what I thought is like, if I can just get more followers, I'll sell more, things will be better. But then you get to a point where it's like you realize it doesn't matter how many people are following you. You still have to do the same work, and you still have to produce the same amount of content. And it's not as like revolutionary as everyone thinks it's going to be for your life.
Yeah.
You do have to put in a lot of work. Like what I've noticed, I'm not one of those people who, you know, makes a collection and says, "Here it is, it's for sale, go buy it," and then sells out in seconds, which I am so happy for people that happens to. But for me, it's like I make my collection or whatever recent work, I put it out there for sale. I will get immediate sales, but then after that, kind of it trickles and slows down, and then they sit in my shop for a while, and I'm fine with that. I don't need to be like it'd be great to sell out.
It's funny you say that, right?
I don't need it, you know, and I don't expect it, which is I think what keeps me from being upset.
Yeah, and I think for me that I tell people I have a job.
Yeah.
I love doing this, but I have a job, and I don't want to make this my job just yet because then it's different. The making process changes.
Yeah.
Even for shows or galleries and stuff like that, you know, I'm always like, they're like, "Oh, you want to be in the show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And then they're like, "Well, we're going to need 30 pieces." You go, "Oh shit, I gotta make 30 really cool things right now," you know?
Yeah, I've had people ask me like if I want to be in shows or be in like sell whatever, and they're like, "You need this many works." I'm like, I don't have that many works. Like I don't make that kind of.
Yeah. You know, John Gill, famous guy from Alfred. He makes.
I'm not, like I said at the beginning of this, I don't know anybody.
Look up John Gill. He's pretty famous. He makes cool stuff. He said once to me, he said, "You don't make pots for a show, you choose pots for a show." So basically, you just make until you got too much shit in your studio.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "I gotta get rid of this.
I gotta get rid of
I'll send these 5 pieces in."
I think that's the thing that I hate the most about not being one of those people who just sells all their work is that once I've made it, I don't want to keep it anymore. I don't want to hoard my own work. And I'm not someone who's interested in like showing in galleries or, you know, that kind of thing. I just want to make the work and then get it out of my hands and into everyone else's hands and then make more stuff. Because it's like, what's it going to do? It's not doing any good sitting on shelves.
No, it's collecting dust. I took a whole shelf full of stuff last winter when my wife was away because it was all stuff I didn't like, and I just threw it all out and put it in the recycling. And she came home like, "Where'd everything go? It was on that shelf." I was like, "I threw it out."
You threw it out. You know what I do? I put every once in a while I go through my stuff, and if I'm like this isn't selling and I'm not going to keep it, I put it in a box and I put it over where all of the lemons go near our mailboxes, and I just say free pottery.
That's great. Somebody
the neighbors pick it up.
So you had something on there about wood ash. You use wood ash, or
what is that?
You had like something on your page about wood ash.
Yeah. So
do you use wood ash? You just sprinkle wood ash on your glazes, or?
Yeah. So I do. This was one of the first things that I was really, really excited about when I started kind of moving out of being a student and moving into like being my own maker and everything. I was in like the very, very, very first studio that I worked out of when I first moved to California. One of the teachers brought in some wood ash, and they said, "Oh, we can take one of these sifters. What would you call it?" Like, yeah. And they're like, you put some in, and you have like a bowl or something, and you tap it gently, and it will cause it to run, and you'll get all these really pretty ash drips.
Yeah, it sure does run, doesn't it?
So I was watching them do it. It wasn't something I was kind of snooping because they were just kind of doing their thing. I was doing my thing, and I asked them, I said, can I have some of it? Would you mind? And I just kind of hoarded it for a while. And it's been so long now, I can't even remember what made me start doing it a different way. So I would take my piece. I actually think I have something over there. No, I don't.
Well, that'd be cool.
So I would take my pot and I would glaze it. And then before the glaze dried, I would just take a handful and like slam it on it. And then it would just pow, and create these like really interesting bursts.
Cool.
The thing is, like, the glazes that I was drawn to at the time, I remember specifically there was this one matte white, and for whatever reason, and they were doing gas kiln reduction. For whatever reason, this glaze and the wood ash did not melt. And I don't know a lot about glaze chemistry, so I could never tell you why. But some of it did melt, but the majority of it, maybe just because it was so built up, kind of just turned hard and rocky. And it made the coolest texture.
Oh, neat.
So I started doing that on a lot of things. I would sprinkle on other glazes that I learned would almost make like a, like when you melt glass and it makes that kind of like brightly colored crystal. So it would look like that too sometimes. Yeah. And so just the combination of all these things, and I was just so drawn to it. I absolutely loved it. And just like anything, ride the wave, Yeah. I kind of got out of doing that for a while, and I got into other things. I think around the pandemic, I had like a breakdown, and I was like, if I see one color or texture, I'm going to lose my mind. So if you go back in my Instagram, right at that 2020, everything gets really minimalist.
Really?
Really boring, really pale. Well, not boring, but like, just there's not a lot going on, and that's a big indication of what I needed my world in my brain to be.
Yeah, that's wild. Like we said earlier about how your work does that.
Yeah.
How life makes you do that.
It's taken me a long time to figure out that like all these changes in my life, my personality, my style, my pottery, everything, like it's taken a long time to realize it's not a bad thing for those things to be changing. It doesn't mean that like I don't know who I am. I used to have these like crises, existential crisis about like I don't have a personality because I keep changing, and I think it's just I needed to zoom out and see a larger picture of my life doing it more than once or twice,
I think that is just the journey to your voice. Like you work through, or for me, I work through things, and I try this and I don't like it, and then I try this, but it's still got a little piece of that in it, and then I'll do some of this, and then I'll learn from that, and before you know it, your pots become known as, oh, that's a Nicole Dacey pot.
That's funny, like that exact idea I put like on my website. I have like a little journal section, and I don't put too much into it now, but I did write a whole section on like finding your style. And the basic idea is like you're gonna try everything, and that the things you're not really into are gonna fall away, and what's left is the stuff you're gonna continue with, and that's gonna turn into your style. So like people really push the like I gotta find my style, and it's like you'll get there, just keep working. Try things.
It's a common theme. If you go back and see some of these episodes, in almost every other show, at least, this comes up where you just got to keep making pots. You're going to make crappy, heavy pots. You're not going to like them. Your mom's going to keep them. Your mom's going to have a shelf of stuff you hate.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Just keep making. Speaking of glaze, I just bought 10 pounds. I use this really bright white for a liner. And it was like $140. So I don't know. I gotta start doing some glaze tests this winter. I don't know what it is in it. That maybe talc or something that's crazy expensive right now. But ugh.
I would not know. I am like, that's one thing that I never really learned being like a student. Never learned how to make glazes and glaze chemistry and all that stuff. And I never learned how to fire kilns. So those two things I've been like self-teaching. Mm-hmm. And I'm still just at the beginning of it. Like I was just starting to think about all that before I got pregnant, and then it all got put on pause. So I'm kind of starting all over, and I've been using commercial glazes on the most recent work, and I've learned very quickly I do not want to be brushing glaze on all of my pots. It is so time consuming, and
absolutely.
I don't love it. So now the next thing I'm going to do when I get through all the stuff that's on my shelves right now is
I learned early on how to make glazes because I went to Alfred and I learned about the glaze making process, not in school, but from my friends who were potters. And I remember thinking like, oh, it's just a recipe.
Yeah.
And they were like, they look at me like, you're an idiot. I'm like, well,
it's more complicated than that. Sometimes, but no, not necessarily.
But then, you do so much glaze testing, and then you fire and you open the kiln and you go, oh crap.
Yeah.
That was 5 days worth of work. And so I got to the point where I start doing terracige. If you look at my work, it's mostly terracige because I know what's coming out of that kiln. You know what I mean? You know what else is cool? You can stack terracige, by the way.
Yeah, I think like you have to be the kind of person that can learn to handle like that kind of disappointment because it's going to happen. And the one thing that people always say, like they're like, don't get too attached to your pots, and I'm like totally the opposite. Like I get so attached to every little thing, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but it does make it harder when you lose them.
Yeah. This is some mugs I've been playing with lately, and this kind of cool.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
It's like a light blue.
Yeah.
Kind of old. And this
Very,
is just,
like,
I just do these bowls with black, like a black rim. The rim will be black like your brush, and then the rest will be light blue, and so is the foot black. So that's going to be fun.
It reminds me a little bit of like some like ocean or coastal waves or.
Isn't it fun? So it's literally, I found this in an old factory. It's a plaster mold for like a lamp.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just press it into that and make mugs out of it.
That's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. I love reusing old things too.
There's a lady that has, I mean, you got to see it. Her husband said, had gone by a couple times, and one time her husband was there, and I think she was getting annoyed that I kept saying, I want some of your old molds, because behind her factory, I drive by, there's 200 of them in the back, just in the rain. I'm like, just let me have some,
Give them. Give me it.
So I said, I will buy them from you. And then I walked in there one day, and her husband was sitting there, and he goes, oh, have you shown him the back room? And she got like blush. He goes, go in the back room. There was, no kidding, 10,000 molds in the back.
What is she doing with them all?
There's pallets of them. Like, I think she got into slip casting, and he would buy out other slip casting places, like, like fire and paint and fire.
Yeah.
Places that do parties. So he buy pallets of, and she doesn't do anything functional. She does like really cool trees and Christmas ornaments and stuff. So she's like, if I get a plate, you can have it. So I was like, cool. Quick before we finish up here, we're at 1 hour and 10 minutes already. See, look at that. And I could talk to you for another hour. I really could.
I have so many brushes. I honestly was like, am I going to get through all these brushes? I got through one. I'm not the best at multitasking my brain. So like this whole video is going to be me fiddling with this.
Yeah. God, tell me about it. I'm the worst. When we were kids, I know you're a bit younger than me, but when we were kids, like, kids, there was no such thing as ADHD when I was a kid. It was just, you would just go, sit down and shut up. I can't. You're not listening. I physically can't. I want to touch on your TikTok videos, because I do those every once in a while. My kids and my wife laugh at me. I think they're hilarious. I'm not on TikTok, though. I'll do it on Instagram.
I do it on Instagram, yeah. I tried the whole TikTok thing, and I was like, I don't have enough time and energy to do 2 different apps, because, like, the vibes are so different on them, and I'm like, it's really hard to make the videos from one work on the other, I think, but maybe it's different now, I don't know. So I just do Instagram. Yeah. For a while, before I started doing videos, like I really wanted to try and make my Instagram page look very like polished and professional, and like I'm an artist, and and like I wanted to present that version of myself, because I'm like, this is, in a way, it's like this is a character, a personality I'm playing, Nicole Dacey, the potter.
Sure.
But then like people started doing the funniest videos on Reels, and I would laugh so hard, and this, like the pull to want to do it, I was like, oh, this is like the real me is like a goofy, stupid, silly, like, just want to have fun and be a silly goose. But that doesn't really vibe with the whole like, I'm an artist kind of thing. But so eventually I decided I just wanted to do it, and that's where, I mean, people always say, like, be your authentic self and everyone will show up, and that's when you'll start getting people following you. And it really wasn't until I started making, like, stupid videos that everyone flocked, and I started getting tons of followers. Like, I would wake up in the morning, and there would be another, like, 1,000 or a couple thousand, like, insane. And,
I tell my wife all the time, if they had TikTok when I was a kid, I'd be famous. Either that or in jail, probably.
Yeah, no. Or you would be both.
Yeah, sure. Some people are. Some people we know should be.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, though. It's doing the videos. Like, I don't do them as much anymore, even though I would really love to. because it takes a lot of time to like set it up, prepare, film it, find good audios that you like and make a reference. I used to try and do it in a way where, like, the way I could justify it was that it would always be related to pottery. I would never make something that wasn't related. And I would find a way to teach people through the videos. So I would talk about silicosis in a funny way in the video, and then in the caption would be a little bit more serious, like teaching moments about like this serious don't trigger moms, or like people who are new beginner potters. It would be a funny video about like, oh, here's my first day at pottery, and I would be all messing it up. But then in the caption would be like, hey, here are 5 tips to make sure that your first pottery goes really well for you.
Yeah. Kind of losing your audio there.
Really?
Oh, that's better.
Dee, dee, dee.
That makes perfect sense. That
yeah.
Dee, dee, dee. That's
hello. This is more video, not audio.
Cool. So did I tell you about leaving us with one good tip?
You did, yeah. And I did, as someone who truly overanalyzes and has anxiety about this kind of thing, I had many ideas. But I narrowed it down to this idea of, so I've talked about how I was in art history for a long time. So I've studied art for years. I actually have a graduate degree in art history, and I was on a path to be a university professor. That was my dream for a while, is just to teach art to other people. So I've spent so many hours studying art, looking at art, and so I not to toot my own horn, I have a pretty good eye for art. When I started ceramics, I was really upset. And same with actually ceramics, painting, drawing, anything artistic that you do with your hands. Mm-hmm. I remember being like, well, I'm not good at any of this. And it's because it takes time for your hands to catch up to your eye. And so as adults, we've been looking at art our entire lives, whether actively searching it out or, just passively taking it in. So we know what things are supposed to look like. We know what a coffee cup is supposed to look like, what a bowl, a sculpture of a bust, whatever it is. But then we become beginners and decide, well, I'm going to make my own mug. I'm going to be a potter. And then you try it and it's terrible. Because, well, your eye knows what it's supposed to look like. Your hand's not there yet. So I would just say, I guess that's my tip, is like, if you're going to be beginning at anything where you're a beginner, give yourself some grace and practice, because you're going to teach your hands how to do what your eye already knows it's supposed to look like.
Sure.
So just keep that in your mind and power through and practice.
Yeah, your hands will catch up.
Yeah.
I
have a friend who I met her when she was my boss at the museum I worked at, and she's become a really close friend of mine. And she's an amazing artist and educator herself. She used to always say, everyone is an artist, but not everyone has the patience or desire to teach themselves how to make art. So she truly believed you could teach anyone to be an artist.
Really?
That it's a teachable skill rather than just necessarily innate. There are obviously people who can pick up a brush or pick up, clay or whatever and make amazing things from the start, but that's sort of the exception to the rule. I think you can teach someone to mix color, you can teach someone to draw a line, and turn that line into whatever.
Yeah.
So I always love that, and so I think it's just that idea of, keep practicing, keep teaching yourself, and your hand will catch up.
A couple of shows ago was Eric Beavers, and he said he calls it the 500 handle rule.
Yeah.
Says you're going to make 500 handles and 493 of them are going to stick. Just keep making.
Yeah.
Tell us more about where we can get your stuff. Are you in any shows? Where should we follow you? Tell us about yourself.
Right now, it's just Nicole Dacey the mom. So if you want to find anything about me, Instagram is the best place to see what I am currently working on, which is just Nicole Dacey Pottery.
Yep.
And then if you're interested in purchasing from me or finding any of my writing or my links or anything, you would go to my website, which is also NicoleDaceyPottery.com.
Yeah, and you have some very interesting educational things on your Instagram as well.
I do, yeah. And hopefully, as Louisa grows up and I gain more of my time back, I love teaching, I love educating, so that's probably something I love more than even making pottery. So I eventually want to get into making videos, maybe making classes,
Yeah.
probably teaching more in person again.
Very cool. Are you going to go to Nsika this year? Have you been to Nsika?
I've never been. There was the one year where it was really close to LA and I didn't go because it was still a little pandemic-y. And then, I mean, I feel like this is my constant answer right now. I have a toddler and kind
Yeah.
of leaving her for
Now
that
now
long.
it's going to be a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a while, but who knows? Maybe if it's close by again, maybe.
It's so much fun. I went
Yeah,
to my first one a couple years ago, and I can't wait till next year.
yeah.
It's
I always
just,
see everyone's videos, and I'm just there like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be there someday. Someday I'll be there.
Nsika envy.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, I could really chat with you for at least another hour. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your art. I appreciate everything you're doing for everybody out there. I love your Instagram page. Love your work.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a part. Nicole Dacey, everybody. All right, here we go.